everyone, this is Lydia from Learn Hungarian Anywhere, and today I have a special guest, Gabi from Poland. Szia, Gabi.
Sia, Lydia. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you today and talk about your special language journey because you were my student.
Yes, of course I was. I'm very proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the reason why I asked you to record this very special interview today is because you are a teacher, you are also a language teacher in Krakow Jagelló University. And actually from this September, am I correct? From this September, you will teach in Budapest ELTE University, which is just so amazing. I was an ELTE student. You know that?
Me too, actually.
So amazing. So I will ask you about, tell us about this language journey and how you got your dream job in Budapest, because this is just so cool. So can you please just introduce yourself first and tell us about how you started learning Hungarian?
Of course. Thank you so much. And once again, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Lydia, because you know that, but I have to say it again, that you're absolutely my role model as a teacher and as a business lady, businesswoman. Absolutely. I can learn from you so much on so many different levels. And I'm really grateful for what you've done for me in Hungarian teaching. So yes, so I basically started learning Hungarian when I was about 10 years ago, actually. Funny. This year it's like a big anniversary in my life, a decade, when I first set my foot in Budapest.
Wow, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting. But I had a very big connection with Hungary in my life, in my family. One of my great grandmothers was Hungarian, and they had a Hungarian surname. And it's very interesting because I am right now at the moment I'm at the stage where I'm trying to kind of decipher what actually happened with them and what actually happened with the surname, because the surname was completely Hungarian, but then it was like Polonized, so some things changed. So it's also a journey to know that. And I started learning Hungarian about 10 years ago at the Jagelló University in Krakow, which is my university where I studied, where I work now. And it's interesting because the queen, or the king actually, the king, who was a woman, Hedvig, who founded my university. Yes, Magyar volt. She was Hungarian. She was a Hungarian princess, and she was coronated the king of Poland, not a queen, but a king. So it's quite interesting how this whole Polish
it is very interesting
vibe. Yes, it's there. So I was always very close to Hungarian history and culture. My grandpa spoke Hungarian a bit, and they would always go to Hungary for holidays in the 70s during Adar. And my grandpa always he would help Hungarians during the 1956 revolution, and he would organize a very revolutionary committee. They would send them blood and ammunition and food. So this thing was very big in my life. And yeah, and just I had a teacher in my high school, and she was like, "Oh, you don't know what to study. Why don't you go to Hungarian philology?" And I was like, "What? That's cool. I like that." Yeah. And so I did go, but by the time there were some bureaucratic things, and by the time I actually found out that I can study something else, I got more into Polish philology and literature and cultural anthropology and philosophy, whatever. And so I only did a few courses in Hungarian. I didn't focus on the language that much, just on the culture and history. But I did go to Budapest for the first time 10 years ago, and I completely fell in love with that place. And I had a dream that one day I would like to study here, and that dream came true. So thank you, God. Thank you, Budapest. Thank you, me.
Lots of hard work. of course.
Yes, it was quite hard because, I mean, at each step of my life, and let's say my career, or just my professional work, yeah, you have to just do a lot of things. It's not that, oh yeah, I want that dream and it's just gonna appear. No, of course you have to work hard, but when you love what you're doing and when you're grateful and when you try to be good at what you're doing, it's just pleasure. So yes, to sum that up, I studied just a bit Hungarian, and then I did my Erasmus at ELTE in Budapest in 2018, and then for half a year, and then I did it again 2 years later for the whole year at my master studies, and I
That
wrote
was in
my
Debrecen,
no, that was also at ELTE in
also at the
Budapest.
Budapest.
Yes, and I wrote my master thesis about. I did my research about the students who learn Polish at ELTE and about some psycholinguistic approaches to motivation. And also interesting because the the biggest fish, let's say, in motivation studies in psycholinguistics is it's a Hungarian academician, Dörnei Zoltán. He sadly died a few years ago, but he was absolutely great. And he was also a student at ELTE. So it was also funny that everyone is kind of from that same place.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, it's quite interesting.
It is.
But yes, and then 2019, 2021, and 2022, I was awarded the Tempus Olapítvány Public Foundation Scholarship. So thank you so much for that, Tempus Olapítvány. And I went 3 times for the summer school. I went twice to Debrecen and once to Eger. So twice to Debreceni Egyetem, Debrecen University, and once to Eger University of Eszterházy. And it was absolutely great. And that was the time that I really learned that I was elevated on a really, really higher level in my Hungarian. And then I could have asked you for help when I already spoke a bit Hungarian. So it was just
actually, you had a pretty good foundation when we met. I remember that. So that was not your first lesson, definitely.
Oh no.
And did you find anything challenging in learning Hungarian at the very beginning?
Yes, of course. I mean, when I really focused on it, because before that, 10 years ago, I really liked Hungary and Budapest and Hungarian culture, and I was really interested in it, and literature, especially literature. I was really much into it, but then it was just so strange, and to get into it, you would have to immerse fully, and it was like really tough. It was something like from the moon. So at first it was really tough, but then when I went to the summer school and was actually in Hungary, it became all very pleasant and a lot easier. So of course at the beginning there were like mainly challenges. That's why I would also like to say to anyone who's listening to that later that of course guys, challenges are just completely inevitable, but it's really worth it. It's such an inspiring, it's such a vivid ocean, such a cosmos of possibilities in Hungarian language that it's a shame not to learn it.
Thank you. Do you know what I think actually, just by listening to you, once you have a good foundation, a strong foundation, and it's probably an A1 level, which is, I can call that a baby level. We can call that a baby level.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if you speak that foundation, that baby level, a strong foundation, you shouldn't be worried about the future, your future lessons. Not at all, because once you have a strong foundation, you should be able to communicate. And we also say Hungarian language is like a pyramid. Like first you have to make a strong foundation, and then it's getting kind of easier. I don't think it will be ever easy. Of course, it will not. We can say that, but But I have the feeling once you have good foundation, a good level of Hungarian, A1, and then you can start using the language and
Absolutely.
enjoy, and you
Of
can just
course.
build it. You know, it feels like a house. You have to build a strong foundation and just add some
Absolutely.
more bricks
Oh,
to
yes.
your language. Let's
Oh,
call it
yes.
a house or building.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
totally. Totally. Thank you for that thought.
mhm,
No, I totally do agree with that 100%. And actually, yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't know. I think probably it's like that with majority of languages, but yeah, yeah. And but the good thing, about, I mean, looking back right now, I see that the good thing about Hungarian language and Hungarian language learning and Hungarian grammar in precisely specifically is that at A1 level you are basically able to um, express all your basic intentions in Hungarian.
exactly.
Like you have the directions, you have the
Mhm,
basic verbs, you can say where you are going to, you have the bo, the be, the bon, ban, on,
mhm,
and you can say who are you visiting, you can say who are you meeting, what are you doing, where are
exactly.
you.
Exactly.
So all of these spatial and all of these activity like intentions are very easy to express at A1 level,
Mhm,
and which is not that actually easy with some other languages, because sometimes with other, specifically with other European languages, especially with Slavic languages, if you really want to become quite, let's say, maybe not very, but if you want to become a bit more sophisticated in
mhm,
your expression, grammatical expression about yourself, you have to know some specific grammar from, let's say, A22, B1, right?
mhm.
To be very, very precise. And I feel that in Hungarian, you don't really have to be at B1 or A22 if you just want to, you know,
To be able
express.
to communicate, express
Yes,
yourself. I totally agree with you. And you know me, Gabriela, because we studied together. I helped you learning Hungarian, and I truly believe in how you learn this language is just super important.
absolutely.
And and people, most of the time, my people are missing the skill how to express yourself. That's why
Of
they
course,
feel like A1 level is just not enough for communicating.
of
But
course.
just one more time, how you
Absolutely.
learn and how you use the language is just super important. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I did face a lot of challenges with learning Hungarian, but I would say that majority of them were just psychological, So
Mhm,
once I get to it's normal in language learning for everyone with every language. Once you get to a certain level,
mhm,
your brain and your, let's say, your psychology, let's say, gets very much used to the idea that you already are somewhere, that you already
mhm,
can communicate. And when you notice that you lack something, for me, it was really hard. I was just very proud and I was a
mhm.
bit vain. I was like, I don't know that. I could speak already. So yeah, it was, let's say, it was like more of a spiritual exercise or like a psychological exercise or like a language learning exercise to allow myself to actually not know something even though I can
Mhm.
speak quite well.
Because
But
it's a
yeah,
pretty big frustration when people feel like, oh, I don't know that word. I don't know how to say that, but this or that. They just feel like, oh, I stuck. I don't want to talk. But
yes,
you know what? When you are in a situation where you have to use the language, you have to speak Hungarian because they don't speak English, for example, you just automatically get that special, magic that, oh my God, I have to say it. I don't know the word, but you have a
yes,
lot of options. Like
yes,
you can use synonym words, you can use the word nem, for example, gyors, nem lassú. I know that's not
exactly,
the proper way of
exactly.
saying what you want, but actually you can use nam and say the opposite word with nam. That also works. And honestly, nobody cares if you need help or you want to express yourself. And nobody cares how you speak that language if you are not 100% perfect. And do you know what? We will never be perfect at speaking a language.
Absolutely. Of
It's just
course.
not possible. But you
Of
find
course.
your way, your level, how you can speak, how you can use your words, how you can use your grammar structures, and it works. Whenever you need help in Hungarian, or whenever you want to say something important in Hungarian, you will find all the tools how you can express yourself, even at A1 level. So this is a magic skill that we definitely need to not
I can see
teach.
that.
I don't say we can teach that, but just highlight for learners like, hey, the skill is here. Don't forget about it because it's
Absolutely.
life-saving skill when you learn a language.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yes, of course.
Gabi, could you tell me about how you study now? Because I'm really excited to talk some Hungarian with you soon and show your level, or not really showing your level, but inspire and motivate others.
Sure.
But before we do that, I'm just super curious about the lot of work. We mentioned the work, the hard work, but you
Mhm.
really invested in learning this language. So how was that? Or how is it now?
Thanks. Um, Thank you. Quite an interesting question, actually. I would say that um, the thing that really helped me, and as I said, where I was completely elevated on another level of my Hungarian was at the summer schools. Um, it's such a, I really highly recommend it to anyone going on a summer school of any language. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be Hungarian, but of any language, really.
So do you mean, sorry to interrupt you, but do you mean actually it's super important to have a teacher or course or somebody who can help you, especially at the beginning? Because that's what I feel as a teacher.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Probably that's what I meant too. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. I also just the whole, like, holistically, I meant having the experience of going to another country. If you want to learn Hungarian, for example, you go to Hungary and you can, during the summer school, you can experience not only the language, but also the
Mhm.
culture, and you can be
Absolutely.
fully immersed in the reality, in the linguistic reality, which
Mhm.
is absolutely priceless. So it is not only, a hobby that you have after 5 p.m. when you finish your work and you have a lesson with someone. This, of course, is absolutely great. It's absolutely valuable. It's perfect. But for me, and I also see it from my students, and in my students whom I teach Polish to, that there's nothing like full experience in the country of the language that you're trying
Mhm.
to learn. There's nothing like it. So for me, it was the summer school, and also being very precise with the homeworks and with the grammar, especially
Oh,
at A1 level,
important. Yeah, 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 yeah.
A1 and A1-2 level, because now I realized now I spent like let's say the third year of my life in Hungary, and it was literally I literally realized that, okay, I can probably speak at like B2 or B1 sometimes, but I don't remember things from A1 grammar, and it's
Mhm.
very annoying. So as you can see, that best as we can see, when you do not um, give your attention to something at the beginning, you're gonna be really staggering. You're gonna be really, really. Um, it's gonna be just problematic for you, to go
Mhm.
further, go on another
It
level.
makes a few gaps in your grammar or
Exactly.
vocabulary. I see.
Exactly. So I would say for me, the summer schools being consequent with the grammar. And
Mhm.
also the third thing is, this I would like to say to anyone, to everyone, allowing allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing yourself to be brave, not to be afraid, to get out there, go on a street and just talk with people. just like broken Hungarian, just like nem, igen, just say anything, but not be afraid. Because I would say the majority of what I learned in the past year that I lived in Debrecen was just through everyday conversation. And also when you are in a situation, in a linguistic reality where no one else speaks English, everyone just speaks Hungarian, let's say. It's quite rare in Hungary.
If you travel to smaller cities, it can happen easily.
Yes,
So very useful
absolutely.
to speak at least at A1 level.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, absolutely, yes. But you know, a lot of Hungarians still speak German or sometimes Italian, so it's still
Mhm.
that one can communicate. But being in a situation where you are forced to speak Hungarian
Mhm.
because you need something from reality, or reality needs something from you, you just have to speak, because otherwise, well, you're gonna have a problem, right?
Mhm.
So I was in that situation now for like almost a year. I lived at a dormitory in Debrecen, best place, and I Veres-Péter Collegium, sorry.
Of course, absolutely. I see you have so much, like really, really memorable experiences. So please, please.
Absolutely, thanks.
Veres-Péter Collegium. Okay, good to
Veres-Péter
know.
Collegium.
That's the best.
Forever. And sometimes there was someone there who didn't speak Hungarian, and I needed something. I needed to adjust something or to organize something, and or for example, I became friends with some people, with Hungarians that didn't
Mhm.
know English, but anyway, we became friends in Hungarian. So when we wanted to have a real conversation, like very deep, I just had to like, oh, what?
But
What? And
also it
again,
helped you because you picked up a lot of
absolutely.
new words. And do you
Yeah.
know what, Gabi? If you can have a deeper conversation with someone, especially with your new
Yeah.
friends, foreign friends, it's just so amazing because I also have a really good
Absolutely.
friend from the Czech Republic. We
Mhm.
speak English together, but I know what you mean, like perfectly. So when you can just have a deeper conversation with someone,
Yes.
with a foreign friend, it's just so amazing. And if you can
Yes.
do it in Hungarian, wow, that's something.
I
That's really
hope, remélem.
something. Mhm.
So I would say that summer schools being consistent and consequent with grammar, and not being afraid of just speaking at a level that you are currently at,
Mhm.
and also signing up for classes with Lydia. this,
Yeah,
this is what
thank
really
you so
helped me.
much. Thank you very much.
Of course, I
Uh,
mean,
Yeah,
was just
that's so kind of you.
heavenly.
Actually, just 1 minute because you said that to sign up for lessons with me. We have really good ideas for September. So I
Oh,
will open my 10-week speaking program again. I know I
great.
invited you too, but you were just so
Thank you.
busy.
Yeah,
That's
so
okay. But I open it for new people again, which means
great.
for 10 weeks I will work with them, practice speaking Hungarian at different
Fantastic.
levels, and I will talk about 10 different topics in a small
Oh,
group.
fantastic.
Yeah, 5 people in
Great.
one group. So
You
that's an
go.
option. And do you know what, Gabi? In August, my first Hungarian magazine is coming. So
Oh, gratulálok. I'm so happy,
köszönöm
Lydia.
szépen. Thank you very much.
Nagyon, nagyon. Szuper.
So I hope to share my magazine with learners in each month.
Great. Great.
So much hard work, but I believe this will be a great material.
Of course. Your
So
material
yeah,
is
thank you.
cosmic,
But
from another planet. They're very good methodically and content-wise. I mean, wow, really
thank you
good.
so
I'm
much. Köszönöm
so I
szépen.
know.
But Gabi, let me please ask you about a very important
Yeah.
thing because I know you mentioned your biggest dream.
Mhm.
So can you please tell me about that dream? And
Mhm.
I really want to celebrate with you today. So tell me about what you will do in Hungary in September. And
Thank you.
let's talk about how did learning Hungarian actually change your life, or How does it feel to have this amazing opportunity by,
Um,
actually it started with learning Hungarian, so it's so crazy and
yes, it is
so
actually.
amazing. So how does it feel and what is that exactly?
Thanks. As you said, it was quite jaw-dropping because I never really thought that it's going to actually happen. So I must say that the dream already happened. Now it's happening. Let's say again. I hope because I spent a year, an academic year at the Debrecen University, the University of Debrecen, where I already taught Polish to
Mhm.
Hungarian students, Polish language and culture.
So anybody wants to learn Polish, you have a
Yes,
great teacher here.
thank you. You're sweet, thank you. But only after they learn, only after you learn with Lydia, okay? Like Hungarian,
Okay, thank
we're
you.
here for Hungarian, but thank you. Yes, so yeah, it was quite remarkable because I have a professor at my university, Jagiellon University, Professor Wiesław Stefańczyk, who is my muse, and he is the only person at my university who speaks Hungarian and who actually worked at Debrecen University for many years,
Mhm.
and he's very connected to Hungary. And so we were for some years now we were in this together actually. And last year he told me that there's an opportunity, a job position in Debrecen, and he said that I would be good for that position. And it was just a dream come true because I always wanted to work as a teacher in Debrecen at the university because I went to a summer school there 5 years ago. But I
Mhm.
completely forgot about that. I was like, I completely forgot about that. But Cosmos remembered, so thank you. And yeah, so it was quite interesting because once I got there, it opened so many different doors to other job opportunities in terms
Mhm.
of teaching Polish to kids, to youngsters at different Polish schools, kindergartens, and everything. And it was just completely outstanding, completely exceptional what happened there. And now I can continue this journey at a different university, which is absolutely fantastic. And I've always dreamt of that. And like you said, your question was how did actually learning Hungarian, how did the
Mhm.
acquisition of Hungarian language help me in my life? Well, tremendously, because I mean, if I didn't put an effort in my Hungarian over the last 5 years, I wouldn't probably have gotten the position, because
Mhm.
it is quite important to speak Hungarian even a bit if you go there and if you are trying to teach
Because
Hungarians
obviously
any
you will teach Hungarian people for Polish language, so somehow
exactly,
you need. I mean, of course, you speak English, that's
of
okay,
course,
but so much more fun, and you can,
absolutely,
just you can
yeah,
connect much better with people
yes,
in Hungarian. And
yes,
do you
yes,
know
yes,
what?
that's it.
I'm sure you also experience that Hungarians are just so nice people, and they open for you when you start speaking
Of
Hungarian.
course,
That's just
always. That's
so
what I
good.
always say. That's what I say.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, usually I always say that humans in general, everywhere, when you do something nice to
Hmm.
another human being, they open up like a flower. I always say that.
Exactly, I agree.
When you actually speak Hungarian to Hungarians, they just open like a garden of
It's a
roses.
big surprise. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a big flower opening, definitely. So it's
Mm.
quite, yeah, it's just a dream come true. I'm very happy. I'm very
Mhm.
grateful to my professors. I'm very grateful to Cosmos, to God, and I'm grateful to myself actually,
You did a
because
lot of hard work. That's true. So be proud of
probably,
yourself. Absolutely.
thank you.
Gabriela, yeah, egy kicsit beszéljünk magyarul is, jó? Mert
Persze, örömmel.
szeretnénk motiválni, szeretnénk inspirálni másokat, és lehet
Mhm.
hallani, hogy egy picit gyorsabban beszélek, picit természetesebben beszélek magyarul, de ez azért van, mert te is azon a szinten vagy, hogy már tudunk így kommunikálni. Ha van kedved,
Remélem.
szerintem igen, azért
Kösz.
annyira ismerlek, hogy tudom már, hogy körülbelül mi az, amit tudsz magyarul. Miről beszélgessünk egy kicsit? Beszélgessünk arról, hogy mit gondolsz, milyen lesz a munka az eltén.
Milyen lesz a
Mire számítasz, mire gondolsz?
Tökéletes kérdés. Hát ez a jó kérdés nagyon kösz.
Uh-huh.
Szerintem és remélem, hogy lenyűgöző lesz. Alig várom, tényleg, nagyon. De szerintem, és tudom, és érzem nagyon, hogy muszáj sok koncentrálni,
Uh-huh.
és megpróbálni mindent tervezni. Hát persze, hogy nagyon akarom mindent tervezni tökéletesen,
Aha.
lenyűgözően, és perfekt, tip-top, pont jó.
TikToknak lenni, aha.
Igen, de csak nagyon-nagyon alig várom, mert az új adventure lesz.
Új
Eh,
kaland, abszolút új kaland lesz majd. Aha.
az nem ismertem, akkor igen.
És látod, nincs probléma,
Én
ha egy szót nem
Köszönöm.
értesz, ha egy szót
Igen,
nem
de
tudsz, akkor segítek neked, és tudunk kommunikálni. Szerintem ez,
persze.
ez nagyon
Mindig
fontos.
köszönöm.
Aha, tehát egy
Igen.
új kaland,
Igen,
új
köszönöm,
kaland
de
lesz.
minden nap az új magyar szó. Ez,
Abszolút.
ez
Főleg Budapesten milyen sok új szót
főleg
fogsz
Budapesten.
tanulni.
Igen, az
Aha.
nagyon. De nekem érdekes lenne szerintem is, mert mert most tudod, most lesz a következő rész az életemben,
Uh-huh.
mikor fogok Budapesten élni, vagy lakni, és
Ez egy új fejezet
újra,
lesz.
igen az, és
Aha.
újra budapesti leszek, és tudod, és most valaki másik vagyok,
Aha.
mint nem tudom, 7 évvel ezelőtt, 5 évvel ezelőtt, 3 évvel ezelőtt,
Uh-huh.
mikor tényleg laktam, és tényleg már budapesti voltam, akkor nagyon excitált vagyok, nagyon, igen, nagyon örülök, nagyon, és
Nagyon
nagyon,
örülök. Uh-huh. De jó.
igen.
Tök jó, Gabi, ennek nagyon örülök én is, hogy ez így sikerült. Beszéljünk még egy kicsit, azért gondolom, hogy a hobbitról, mert az egy kicsit könnyebb téma, és akkor majd azok is értik, akik mondjuk kevésbé beszélnek magyarul. Milyen hobbit van, vagy mivel szeretsz foglalkozni szabadidőben?
Jó kérdés is, köszönöm. Hát ez kicsit magyar is, mert nagyon imádom énekelni, zenélni, igen, muzsikálni, mindegy.
Muzsikálni, nagyon jó, zenélni.
I-
Aha.
Igen, és táncolni is, de főleg énekelni,
Uh-huh.
és nem emlékszem pontosan, de kórus, ez
Ezt
magyarul?
akartam kérdezni, hogy te a kórusban is énekelsz. Uh-huh.
Igen, voltam ott 11, 12,
Uh-huh.
13, igen.
Az igen.
Em, igen, év voltam a kórusban. Igen, és nagyon imádom magyar dalt énekelni. Kovacs
Ezt
Kati
akartam.
például.
Kovács Katit nagyon szereted, de akkor énekelsz magyarul. De
Így,
jó,
persze,
de jó.
persze. Persze. Imádom nagyon. És igen, és hát remélem, hogy tudok találni egy új kórus Budapesten, és
Aha.
már tudom, hogy sok Budapesten, akkor meglátjuk. Lehet lesz tudod, az új adventure, bocsi, nem emlékszem.
Kaland. Új
Halan?
kaland. Kaland.
Halan. Oké.
Mhm.
Ez
Ez egy új
a
kaland.
halan.
Kaland.
Andi.
Kaland.
Igen,
Aha.
szerintem
Új kaland lesz.
valamikor.
Aha.
Igen. Nem bármikor, valamikor, köszönöm.
Valamikor. Aha. És
Igen.
tudod, hogy Budapesten van a Liszt Ferenc, a híres Liszt Ferenc Akadémia,
Ó, legjobb,
Zeneakadémia,
kedvencem.
akkor remélem
Persze.
közel leszel, és találsz magadnak kórust, vagy hasonló
Köszönöm.
muzsikás
Igen.
hobbit, vagy közösséget. Vannak kedvenc helyeid Budapesten? Hova szeretsz menni?
Girl.
Jó
Lányom.
kérdés.
Igen. Ö, hát, ó, nagyon nehéz kérdés. Hát, attól függ,
Uh-huh.
öm, mikor ott leszek, mit csinálok, mi van a vibe-om, mi van az érzésem, és hogy érzem magam, mit kellene csinálni, mit muszáj csinálni, mit tudok, mit akarok csinálni. De sok hely Pesten, Budán is. Most általában, várja, mi volt? Általában szerintem, hát pár évvel ezelőtt Józsefvárosban laktam, de most muszáj mondani, hogy oké, az nem budapesti, de kicsit mellett, és most nagyon budokeszi voltam, mert a szuper legjobb lengyel barátnőm ott él.
Ott él, és akkor együtt tudtatok ott
Igen.
lenni. Aha, de
És
jó.
van a magyar férje, igen, és van a budokeszi családot, akkor szerintem most Budokeszi, igen.
Aha,
Budokeszi.
tehát akkor szereted Budakeszit. Sok
Igen,
emléket
igen.
kötődik oda.
Hát imádom az egész Budapest, az egész Magyarország, de Debrecen ez a tényleg isteni hely, ez a legjobb hely.
jó,
Tényleg.
de jó.
Ez elképesztő, ez tényleg.
Köszönöm szépen. Gabi, thank you so much. I believe this was so
pleasure.
inspiring and motivating for others. This level was wow, like a super cool Hungarian interview. Thank you so much. I would love to invite you again sometime in the future because it's not a secret, but we had a conversation about AI in learning languages and some learning gaps. And we just found it super important because we talked about how learning gaps or how AI can help learners, but also we discussed how they can be just super dangerous for learners.
Absolutely.
So I will email you and invite you again, and we will talk as two teachers, one from Learn Hungarian Anywhere and you from Budapest ELTE University. So
perfect. Can't wait.
I'm so excited. Exactly. Nagyon szépen köszönöm, Gabi.
Nagyon köszönöm, nagyon fantasztikus volt beszélgetni, és puszi, minden jött, Lívia, köszönöm.
Köszönöm szépen, szia, Gabi.
Puszi, szia!
Szia!